Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be bringing you a review, demo, and some swatches of the new Kosas Revealer Concealer. I have two shades here. I have the shade 01 and 02. So I'm going to be giving you a demo of how this product applies under the eyes. We'll talk about how I think this wears, how much coverage it gives, and just a full-on review. So if the video is helpful, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up. So the Kosas Revealer Concealer retails for $28. You get 0.2 ounces in here, which I actually think is a decent price. I think that's very reasonable. It comes in 16 different shades, and we'll talk a little bit more about the shades later on in this video. But Kosas does say that this is a medium coverage. They claim that the finish is a little bit more on the radiant side, and that it's kind of a concealer as well as a skincare product kind of melded into one. Kosas has added ingredients in here that have benefits. Ingredients like caffeine, which I love in my eye products. Caffeine is really good at kind of refreshing and almost smoothing out the under eye, getting rid of any puffiness that you might have. This also has arnica, which I have not heard of actually, but it apparently helps to speed up the skin's healing process, which is awesome. And this does have peptides, which I love peptides. A lot of you, I'm sure, already use peptides in your skincare routine, but peptides are really great at helping to kind of stimulate your own collagen. For me personally, what I notice is just kind of a plumping effect to my skin. So I love when brands include peptides in my skincare products. Let's quickly talk about the packaging. The packaging is very on brand. Kosas has some of my favorite packaging out there. I actually did an entire video about beautifully packaged products that the product itself is actually as good as the packaging looks, and I included some Kosas products because Kosas does some really beautiful and unique formulas in my opinion. Products like the tinted face oil and the 10-second eyeshadows too, those have such unique formulas. So I was interested in seeing how Kosas was going to approach a concealer formula just because their formulas are already so different. So I have only been trying out this product for 3 days now, so I can't really speak to how this works as a corrective product. Kosas does say that this will help improve the skin under your eyes as time goes on. And again, I've been using this for 3 days, so I really can't speak to that, unfortunately, but I can definitely tell you how this wears, how it looks, and how it applies. I do think that this is a medium coverage as Kosas claims it is, and it does have a more radiant finish. I'm wearing it under my eyes today, and I did not set the product at all, and it does give a really pretty radiance without it being incredibly dewy. So one of my favorite concealers is the Maybelline Fit Me. That one has a very dewy, radiant look under the eyes. This one does have a more radiant finish, but it does kind of set down, so which is nice. I like that sort of balance of giving that radiance without it remaining quite dewy under the eyes. I do have dry skin, so I prefer a little bit more dew rather than a really matte concealer under my eyes. I tend to stay away from concealers that are super matte just because they make my under eyes look really dried out. So finish wise, I think it's really pretty. As for the way that this applies, we'll just jump into the demo so you can see. I am wearing the shade 01. The texture is creamy, but it's actually not incredibly thick, which once it is applied under the eyes, I think that's what makes it not look incredibly makeup-y. Now this is a medium coverage. It's not going to give you complete full-on coverage, but the texture and that slight radiance with the medium coverage overall gives a very natural look under the eyes. It never looks heavy and it's never weighing down my under eyes. As for the blend of the product itself, it really blends effortlessly. I tend to use just a finger or a sponge, but I think I like a finger even more with this product because I can better control the coverage that way. I think when using a sponge, the sponge does absorb a little bit of the coverage. And I will say that the addition of the caffeine, I feel like I do notice that ingredient because it does kind of feel like it flattens out the under eye in a way. The product doesn't necessarily feel refreshing under the eyes or cooling at all. It does kind of just flatten out any of the puffiness. If we're being real here, I'm actually a little bit hungover right now, and when I apply this, I just feel like it took down a lot of the puffiness that I felt I had under my eyes earlier this morning at least. I don't think that this is necessarily a very crease proof concealer. I don't think I get a ton of creasing like I would with more like radiant dewy concealers. Creasing's just kind of something that you deal with, but this definitely doesn't crease as much as some other products out there, like more really creamy products. And I do think it is because of the formula, because the formula is a little bit more lightweight for being creamy. I think that's probably why. I'm definitely not surprised that this formula is really pretty and unique. As I mentioned before, I think Kosas does really interesting and unique formulas. I do think that there has been a misstep with this launch. I did mention before that we would get back to this. It is about the shade range. So there are 16 shades within the shade range, and when looking online, it does look like the shades are inclusive. I first bought the shade 02. Kosas said that this is more of a neutral shade. A neutral undertone is definitely what I'm looking for, and this is incredibly yellow. It actually reminds me quite a bit of when Too Faced came out with their Born This Way concealer, and how a lot of people were talking about how all the shades were really yellow. I mean, it was very stark on my skin, but I did go in store and looked at the shade 01, and 01 is definitely a much better shade match for me. It is more on the neutral side. They do say that this is a little bit more cool tone, which is interesting because I find it to be just a little bit more neutral in the middle. But nevertheless, I have heard anecdotally and through other reviews online that the shade range in general just leans very yellow. And within brands, there are a lot of brands like Dior that typically their foundations all lean a little bit more peachy or pink. As I mentioned before with the Too Faced launch, a lot of them leaned a little bit more yellow. But let me know down below. I am one of those people that's very picky about shade match for concealer under my eyes. I do feel like I'm very lucky that I was able to find a shade that really works for me in this concealer. I'm absolutely going to keep using this, and I'm incredibly impressed with the formula. I think it's very unique. In general, I just love how the coverage looks so natural. It doesn't look really makeupy under the eyes. It doesn't fade very quickly either, which you will get with some more radiant concealers. I definitely get a full 8-hour wear out of this without a lot of the coverage wearing off. So overall, I really enjoy this new launch from Kosas, but I do hope that Kosas does look into the shade range and maybe make some adjustments. Like I said, I wear the shade 01. It's the most fair shade, and to me, I'm not even the most fair person out there. I mean, believe me, I'm pale, but there are some people a little bit more pale than I am. I would definitely like to see some more shades and some more true undertones. Let me know down below if you have tried this launch from Kosas. If you enjoyed the video, I hope that you will subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.